Hey, how's it going? I would like to take a look within this video, best performing investment opportunities available out there. Let's take a look at perhaps more so 10 and some of the resources that I managed to find online available for everyone. If anything, that would be video for education and entertainment purposes only. There's a risk involved with any decision that you yourself might be making, so do your own research, right? Let's take a look at those 10 and let's summarize video with some of the investments that others are making. It's important to note that performance of investments can vary, right? And what might be a top performing investment at one point in time may not be the same in the future, right? So perhaps some of those investments that I'm gonna be mentioning or covering, perhaps it's on the they might be performing very well right now or might be performing very well within the next year or so. But not necessarily those investments that I'm going to be taking a look at going to be performing very well in the long run, right? It's worth mentioning. Additionally, individual investment preferences, risk tolerance, and or financial goals play a significant role in determining what might be considered a best investment, right? As well as when you consider yourself perhaps some of those areas and some of those strategies that you yourself might be interested taking a look at and what kind of industries you want to enter or taking a look at perhaps something that you yourself understand very well, right? To say the least. I might be covering certain areas, certain things. I might be covering different opportunities out there. But if it's not necessarily something that you yourself understand, not it might not be the best opportunities for you or your particular circumstances, right? That being said, let's cover 10 top opportunities out there and what we managed to find online. Stocks. Investing in individual stocks or exchange traded funds, ETFs can offer the potential for high returns. Technology stocks, healthcare companies, and or innovative industries often attract attention. Yeah, I mean there's opportunities out there, and the same goes the way how I'm understanding stocks, right? So you yourself, you need to consider so many things in investing in that, right? It's hard to mention or cover everything within a 10-minute video. But that would be one opportunity available out there. I'm not entirely sure yourself how much control you would have or the business that you yourself might be interested in investing in different stocks, if that would be the stocks of a particular business and how much control you would have over and about, if anything, how big of a sum we're talking about, right? If we are talking about thousands, hundreds of thousands, right? How much control you would have, right? Number two, that would be bonds. Bonds are considered safer than stocks, but typically offer lower returns. So perhaps your risk tolerance. So that would be something worth taking into account or consider. Risk tolerance. Bonds are often used for income generation or capital preservation. Governments and corporation bonds are common options. So there's the different options there. That would be perhaps bonds, the way how you can invest your money. And for a very long time, it was considered one of the safest options available out there. But that's not necessarily the best options, but for a very long time, it was considered one of the safest ones. Number three, real estate or property, depending where you live. Real estate investment involves purchasing properties for rental income or capital appreciation, depending on if you what kind of problem you yourself you might be interested in solving. Right? Perhaps you have too much money, right? That if you're looking to solve this kind of problem, perhaps you might be considering to purchase a lot of real estate. But either way. Real estate investment trust rates allow investors to gain exposure to real estate without directly owning properties. So they might structure some of the contracts up there. Haven't noticed some of the perhaps new opportunities or this particular opportunity perhaps worth taking a look at. But either way, real estate perhaps depending on what type of structure where you actually need to hands-on experience where you need to perhaps outsource management of those real estates if you just want to own or park your money somewhere. So depending what kind of problem you're looking to solve, right? So if you have access to a lot of resources and you're looking to put that money for perhaps 4 or 5 years, right? Perhaps it's worth to take a look at real estate, but then are you looking to manage real estate, right? Where you actually need to answer phone calls and be a landlord, or are you, depending on what you're looking to do, you looking to perhaps own shopping malls, right, where the all management perhaps can be taken care of. That's another way. Or perhaps you're looking to own real estate and manage like a business, like running restaurants or the renting rooms, right? Perhaps you are looking to own real estate, but you're actually owning a business, if that makes sense. So it can be classified in different ways. So depending what kind of problem you're looking to solve, as well as what might be available up there as well. Number four, cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies, without promoting any of the projects, there are some successful projects, what can be considered successful, but it's a relatively new market, right? And as myself, it might be interesting to understand a little bit better. I don't know, I'm not supporting anything, right? Myself, I might do some silly things with my time, my money, would perhaps I should do less of those silly things. But if to say the least, do your own research and try to understand what is cryptocurrencies. If anything, I would be talking with someone who's been accountant for perhaps 20 years or so, right? He doesn't know what the cryptocurrency is. He doesn't think nothing about it. Perhaps some other people think it's just a new fad that will come and go, if that makes sense. Again, so I don't know. I not necessarily agree or disagree. The cryptocurrencies are just there. So hopefully, people can think for themselves, and if it's something that people might be interested in doing, right, or investing in, because there's a different structures when it comes to cryptocurrencies, right, as well as we cover real estate or properties, and they same might have different structures that come. The same might come with owning or managing cryptocurrencies, right? Cryptocurrencies have gained popularity as alternative investments. However, they are highly volatile, if anything, right? And speculative, and investors should exercise caution. So it's very, uh, some would say, very highly volatile, as in particular if it's something new, not necessarily people understand it completely. So if anything, I would like to caution people when it comes to understanding cryptocurrencies. Do enough research to understand it in the first place, right? Once you understand it, then you can understand all the risks involved, and from there you can progress into other stages. Number five, mutual funds. Mutual funds pool money from multiple investors to invest in diversified portfolio of stocks, bonds, and or securities. They are managed by professional fund managers. Again, it might come with the different structures as well, where they passively managing your money, or actively, right? So it might have additional fees involved. So I will try to understand those as well. Index funds. These funds track a specific market index, perhaps looking to reduce the risk while perhaps allocating the resources to a top number of companies, right? Instead of one single one, we're taking a look at 500 top performing companies, if that makes sense, right? And aim to replicate its performance. They offer diversification and often considered more passive investment strategy. So again, what strategy you might pick, right? Instead of perhaps choosing one or two companies, you would yourself might choose 500 top companies, and perhaps those top 500 might perform very well, right? Number 7, precious metals. I don't know where myself I'm standing on that, since some of the people not necessarily understand some of those areas, as well as there's a lot of risk involved, right? In particular, some of those articles that I would be reading about precious metals. But either way, gold and silver are traditionally safe haven assets, been considered, right? But there's risk involved, and we are talking about investments for everything, as well as for something that's considered that investors often turn to during economic uncertainties. Precious metals can act as a hedge against inflation, right? So if anything, right? So if you have a lot of cash, perhaps in your mattress, and there's gonna be downturns of economy, perhaps you would like to move from cash into precious metals, but that's, again, there's risk involved even doing that. Perhaps just tracking history and trying to follow up people might be worth taking a look at the history and what's constantly happening. Number 8, technology investments. Companies involved in technology and or innovation such as artificial intelligence, renewable energy, and or biologically may often grow or might have growth opportunities. So there's some opportunities available there, but again, those opportunities might come and go, yeah, depending on many things, many factors, right? How some of those companies might perform, as well as how big of opportunities are, as well as how risky some of those opportunities might be as well. Number 9, dividend stocks. Stocks of companies that pay regular dividends can provide steady income stream, making them attractive to income-focused investors. There are some stocks, right? And you yourself, if anything, you might want to take a look at the history and how some of those companies are performing when it comes to history. Since some of the companies might start at one point and stop at some point paying out dividends, right? So you yourself, if anything, perhaps worth taking a look at the history. And if some of those companies have paid dividends for 20 years, 50 years, and always did that, so most likely, if you yourself you got a crystal ball and you might be able to predict the future for next year or so, they might carry on paying out dividends. But again, there's a risk involved for everything. Number 10, emerging markets. Investing in economies with a high growth potential, often found in emerging market countries, can offer opportunities but come with higher risk due to political and or economic volatility. I have covered a number of videos about some of those investments where governments are making in other countries, which I guess there's a lot of opportunities there as well. Myself, if you're interested in understanding and learning more about how to run the business, I have published a book, which I personally believe it would be everything what you would need to know about livestock enterprise, and everything where many people should start when it comes to establishing your enterprise and starting setting goals and achieving first milestone. That would be particularly something that I would be focusing on within this book if it's something that you're interested in establishing. That would be progression from zero to first $10,000 your response, and how you can achieve this milestone. In the book, I'm sharing a lot of examples for people who would like to learn more, to understand everything what would be required of you to save you money. If anything, you can save a lot of money and learn a lot of things from this book. You can find it QR code in the corner and or a website below. It's crucial to conduct thorough research, consider your risk tolerance, and if needed, consult with a financial advisor before making investment decisions. Diversification across different asset classes can also help manage risk if it's something that you're looking to mitigate or reduce, right? Let's finish on that. Do your own research to understand a little bit better. If anything, briefly, would just like to share some information out there for different opportunities available. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.